Hello guys, welcome back to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We just got done talking about the media policy change in the WNBA and the Christy Sides and Caitlin Clark's interaction that went viral on social media. We're now going to talk about the Eastbourne International in the WTA. The Eastbourne International is taking place from June 22nd to the 29th. This is the final women's tournament before Wimbledon. This is a very exciting competition with several star names set to take the court, including 4 former Grand Slam finalists or champions. So in this segment, we're going to recap how the competition is going so far. Before we start, I want to remind you guys to like and follow the show and to become a part of our show to tip and donate using the link gsmcpodcast.net. Also, this link puts your questions at the top of the list so that they get read on the air and you get that interactive aspect. Interactive aspect of the GSMC Sports Network. Also, make sure you guys stay to the end of the show to hear about the Oklahoma University softball transfers and how that will affect their team. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, we can actually get started talking about the Eastbourne International. Okay, so going into this competition, the top 5 WTA seeds are, and I'm going in order of first to fifth. They were Elena Rybakina, Jessica Pegula, Danielle Collins, Jelena Ostapenko, and Madison Keys. The reigning champions of the specific competition in the women's single is Madison Keys from the U.S., and in the women's double, it's Desiree Krosich from the U.S. and Demi Schuurs from the Netherlands. Now to the recap. On day 1, British stars Elena McDonald and Ranah Stoiber clinched some of their biggest wins of their career. Lexus Ickley Trophy quarterfinalist McDonald clinched the upset of the day against world number 50 Anna Bognan, 6-4, 4-6, and 6-2. The British wildcard had the perfect response after losing the second set, reeling off 5 straight games before closing out her best victory to date. Stoiber, who made the second round in Italy last week, beat world number 66 Cristina Busa 6-2 and 7-5 in 1 hour and 27 minutes to move one match away from her first WTA 500 maiden draw. On some sadder news, Britain's Sarah Beth Gray lost to former world number 25 Angelina Kalinina 6-1 and 6-3. Moving on to day 2. Oh, someone just commented, Alex Morgan is out. I'm actually talking about that tomorrow, so please stay tuned for tomorrow's episode because I am so excited to talk about how Alex Morgan is out of the Olympics. Spoiler alert. So please stay tuned for that tomorrow. Not today, unfortunately. I'm literally was like tears in my eyes. Okay, moving on, but back to tennis. On day 2, Ranah Stoiber and Elena McDonald bowed out in the final round of qualifying. Stoiber exited after a close battle with top seed and world number 45 Magda Linette, 6-3, 4-6, 6-2 in 1 hour and 55 minutes. The young Brit, who claimed the biggest win of her career the preview day against Spain's Cristina Busa, showed great fight to save break points at 4-4 in the second before going on to force the decider. However, the Poles' experience carried her through to the third. Stoiber had 2 chances to break back in the second game of the set at 15-40, but from there, Linette only lost 2 points on serve the rest of the way. McDonald lost out on court 1 to world number 70, Ashlyn Kruger, 6-4 and 6-0. The young Brit overturned an early 3-0 deficit in the opening set to get back to 4-4 before the American reeled off 8 games to book her place in the main draw. Now, on day 3, Harriet Dart put in a fighting performance to beat Czech Republic's Maria Bušková 7-5, 6-7, and 6-4 in an epic match lasting over 3.5 hours. In her first top 50 win since she defeated Zhang Shua in the first round of Eastbourne last year, Dart brought her absolute A game for the home crowd on the sunny South Coast. I'm so sorry. I am saying these words in my head and I'm like, wait. I'm having one of those days where you can say the word correctly in your head, but then as soon as it comes out of your mouth, it's just not how you say it. So I apologize. That's the day I'm having, apparently. Okay, so Dart said, it was an incredible match. So many up and downs. Maria is an incredible fighter and always makes it very tough. And I'm a bit surprised these long matches are coming on grass, to be honest. I'm very happy that it turned my way this time. The victory books a second round clash with Sofia Kenin after top seed and former Wimbledon champion Elena Rybakina withdrew from the tournament. Dart came back from a double breakdown in the opening set as she started to ask serious questions of the world number 38, forcing her to make more and more mistakes. With frustration building for Pegula, Dart only continued to raise her game and won 5 of the last 6 games to go a set in front. In the second, Dart came back from a 4-1 deficit again and battled hard to force a tie break, but facing her 4th set point, the Briton pushed a smash wide to set the Czech draw level. A former quarterfinalist in Eastbourne, Dart upped her game in the biggest moments, and she came out swinging in the third. She broke for the 7th and 8th time in the match to go 3-1 in front, and then managed to pull together 3 straight service games for the first time to see out the win. Elsewhere in the women's draw, Polish qualifier Magda staged a huge comeback to defeat world number 25 Anastasia, and I'm so sorry because I am not going to be able to pronounce this name correctly, Pavlyuchenkova, 1-6, 7-6, and 6-4 in 2 hours and 18 minutes. Anna Kalinina beat Ranah 6-3 and 6-2, while former champion Elena Rybakina knocked out Great Britain 7-6, sorry, not 6-6, 7-6 and 6-1 in an hour and 27 minutes. Lastly, 2021 U.S. Open runner-up Leylah Fernandez beat 7th seed and former French Open champion Barbara Krejcikova 6-2, 3-6, and 6-2. Again, now moving on to day 4, Elena Rybakina and Katie Butler joined Harriet Dart as a trio. British players look set for the second round of the women's singles. Rybakina marked her main draw debut with an explosive 6-4 and 6-0 victory over 2017 U.S. Open champion Sloane Stephens. British number 1 Butler survived a second set scare to defeat Croatia's Petra Martic 6-1 and 7-6. However, Lily Miyazaki exited in the first round, bowing out in straight sets. 21-year-old Rybakina had to come back from a breakdown twice in the opening set, but the American was simply unable to deal with the intense ball striking from the other side of the net. Having turned things around from 4-3 and a break behind to lead 5-4 in the opener, Rybakina snapped a stunning forehand winner down the line to bring about set point, which she took at the first time of asking. After clinching a tight first set, Rybakina hit full flight. She went on a break to Stephens 6 times in a row and closed out the second set in just 27 minutes. In the second round, she will face last week champion in Berlin, Jessica Pegula, who is from the U.S. Y'all know her name. Y'all know her. Butler, on the other hand, came out flying, taking the first 5 games, losing just 8 points. With the first set wrapped up, everything looked to be going Butler's way as she edged out 3-1 in front. However, Martic was far from her outer fight, and as her game continued to build and the slice backhand came into full effect, cracks started to appear in the Brits' game. Martic had the chance to serve out the set at 5-3, led 5-1 in the tiebreak, and had 3 set points, but Butler refused to let it go. With her second match point on serve deep in the breaker, the Croatian steel defense gave way as Butler secured a second round clash with former champion Jelena Ostapenko. Meanwhile, Miyazaki was defeated by WTA doubles world number 1 Elise Mertens 6-1 and 6-2. Despite breaking early in the first set, the British wildcard struggled to capitalize on her first serves, winning just 46% of points when it landed throughout the match. The 28-year-old Brit now turns her attention to Wimbledon, where she will have a main draw wildcard. Lastly, let's recap day 5. British number 1 Katie Butler and Harriet Dart continued their dominance on the grass. Butler took down former champion Jelena Ostapenko 6-4 and 7-5 in just over 2 hours, which I thought was super impressive. While Dart came through a tough 3-set battle against Sofia Kenin to win 6-3, 6-7, and 6-0. Day 5 marked a career first meeting between Butler and the world number 13, who are both renowned for their big hitting and aggressive styles of play, but it was the Brit who dominated the opening stages of the match. Landing an impressive 76% of the first serves in, Butler eased through her service games and used her power to hit through the Latvian as she raced ahead to a 5-2 lead. However, Ostapenko refused to let the set get away from her easily, clawing one of the breaks back as Butler attempted to serve out the set. The 2-time Rosacea Open Nottingham champion made sure she didn't make the same mistake twice as she eventually got herself over the line on her 7th set point. After 4 breaks of serve in the second, a tie break looked to be on the horizon, but one final blow or blow. Why? Okay, that is how I've always pronounced blow, is like blow, which is so not correct. Okay, I'm like embarrassing myself. There are certain words that I've always pronounced incorrectly, but people just go with it, like blow. I don't know why, but I was like, anyway, the final blow from Butler saw her edge her nose in front once again. Stepping up to serve for the match, Butler slammed a thunderous serve down the tee before the Latvian hit a backhand wide to catapult the Brit to victory, marking her joint best appearance in Eastbourne. British number 2 Dart faced a tough opponent in the former world number 48 Keenan. After the Brits secured the first set, both players struggled behind their serve, with neither able to take control of the second set. After 6 breaks of serve, we headed towards a tie break, which saw the Americans sprint to a 6-3 lead before leveling to a tie to a set apiece. However, Dart ramped up the intensity in deciding set, winning 93% of points behind her first serve as she strung it together 6 consecutive games to reach the final 8, where she set up a blockbuster meeting against 2021 U.S. Open runner-up Leylah Fernandez. Okay, so we are now going to move on to the next segment. There's a question: if I can meet any sports star, who would it be? And they said Alex Morgan and Caitlin Clark. That's so valid. I would love to meet Alex Morgan and Caitlin Clark. It's Anne. Oh my gosh. That is so difficult. I would love to meet Alex Morgan. I've been a huge fan of her for so long. I would also love to meet Katie Ledecky and Simone Biles. Also, Laura Hernandez. I'm listing so many people. Laura Hernandez, actually, I used to live in New Jersey, and she would go to this gymnastics club there, and I lived right next to it. So, like, I don't know. I felt like I knew her. I felt like we were friends. Anyway, that's how, yeah. Also, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. Love to meet them. I'd love to meet Kate Martin. I'd love to meet Asia Wilson. Oh my gosh, I could literally, the list would go on forever. Yeah, so like literally, yeah. Oh, Jade Carey, I want to meet her so bad too. Oh, also, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna stop listing people, but Jordan Childs. If I meet her, I will literally cry. Yeah. Okay, so we're now gonna take a break and then move on to the next segment where we're gonna preview the gymnastics Olympic trials, which will be taking place tomorrow. Before we get into that, we're gonna take a quick break, like I said 1,000 times. So I will see you guys very soon.